Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Ecolinguist Live, the season 3, episode 4. This evening, welcome everybody. This is a language show, the only language show on the internet like that, in which you can be part of. You can be part of the show. You can call in. You can interact with me and other participants. We are all about language challenges here, mostly the classic mutual intelligibility format as usual. This is what this channel is known for, mutual intelligibility between different languages within language families. This is such a niche topic, it's so difficult to explain to people who don't really know what we are doing here. This is a mouthful, basically. Like every time when I'm trying to explain to people what my channel is all about, it just takes so much time to explain. I don't know. Do you guys have the same experience when you talk about the videos you watch here? It's to people who have like no idea what mutual intelligibility is, and maybe they don't have experience learning languages. Well, anyways, this is the live show, the Ecolinguist show. My name is Norbert and I'm the host of today's episode. You probably were expecting Lucas today because that's what was announced last week, but it turned out that there is some governmental holiday in Brazil right now. I think it has something to do with the carnival. And Lucas had some spontaneous plans for that. So I decided to cover. I had to cover him this week, but you will see him next week as a host, possibly a little bit earlier than usual. So make sure that you have that notification bell on so you get notified when we schedule the show. We usually schedule the show a day before, so you get notified and you can, check the time, because we tend to do our goal is to have the show at the same time every week. But life gets in the way, and sometimes we just need to push it around a little bit. So the best way to stay informed about changes happening to the show and the channel in general is to follow to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, and have a habit of checking out the community tab on YouTube. So if you go to my profile, the Ecolinguist profile on YouTube, there are some tabs there like videos, live stream, shorts, whatever, and there's also a community tab. So if you go there, you will see all the up-to-date posts. If there is any sort of announcements, you will find it there. Or sometimes we also do polls, as we used to do in the previous season. I'm considering coming back to it, but not for now. So basically, I just need to update the calling link because it was set to a different one. Oh yeah, I already see people calling in. That's great. So I see a lot of regular people calling in. If you're just joining the show, you're not sure what the show is all about, and you are considering calling in, it's fairly easy. The link is in the description box. You just need some sort of headset, ideally, or be in a quiet space to interact with us. And you will have two options, two ways you can participate. You can either challenge yourself with one of the languages that I have here in a format of a pre-recorded challenges. Basically, I'm just going to play an audio sample for you in a language that you have not studied before, but you are familiar with a language that belongs to the same language family. Maybe it's your native language. Maybe you are a language learner and you have learned a language that belongs to the same family that the language that you are challenging yourself with. So today I have lots of languages, mostly Slavic, Romance, and Germanic languages, but we still have challenges, pre-recorded challenges for Latvian, Lithuanian, Latgalian, Estonian, Finnish. So if you are a speaker of one of those languages and you would like to challenge yourself with your neighboring languages, you're welcome to call in. But when it comes to Slavic languages, actually we just got a submission, because that's another way you can participate in the show. You can run a challenge yourself. So you're welcome to call in with your challenge that you have prepared and you would like to challenge someone with. It's more interactive that way, and this is actually how we used to do it in the season 1, and that's how all the videos most of the videos on the Ecolinguist channel look like. People interact, and it has some advantage. It adds a certain charm to it as well, because there's interaction and you can ask personalized questions, and obviously every person has a different level of understanding of languages depending on their linguistic background. So it's always fun to have that kind of interaction. So if you have a challenge that you have prepared, you can call in and run that challenge with one of other callers that I would I will try to match you with the person that would be a good fit for that challenge. Or if you're camera shy, you don't want to call in because it's too much for you at the moment, you can always submit a challenge. you can submit a recording of the challenge with the transcript on, let's go, on the website, on my website, ecolinguist.com. There are some useful links here. You just go to the ecolinguist.com, go to quick links, submit your challenge, and you just need to follow the instructions. There are guidelines on how to craft a perfect challenge for the show. Some examples here. You just need to fill in the form with the transcript of the challenge. So think ahead of the kind of challenge you want to submit, type it somewhere, and then you can just paste it in the form. So we have the transcript, ideally English translation as well, unless you are using like a very mainstream, like a big language that has a very good like online presence and the technology can deal with translations, then you don't really have to provide English translation. But if you speak a small language that doesn't really have, that is not really well served by the technology and automatic translations, it's advisable to add an English translation there, or translation to a bigger language that we can just easily translate with the AI tools that we have available right now. So this is the form. Then you go down and you can basically just record the challenge on the site. So you don't really have to record it separately and then upload it. You can just record it on the site while you are there. It's very easy. A lot of you already use that feature, which is great. But if that for some reason doesn't work for you, or you need a little bit more time to work on your recording, you can also just upload it. And you can just upload it here. There is another button that you can use. So I'm mentioning this because actually last week we got a number of submissions. So we've got a Swabian challenge, so thank you to Katerina. We've got a new Swedish challenge, thank you for Andreas. And we got a North Frisian challenge from Moritz, which who you already seen on the show, but he also submitted the challenge for North Frisian. So when he's not around, we can still challenge someone with the North Frisian language. So thank you very much for that. And we also have a Slovenian challenge from a Slovenian person that doesn't want to be named. So thank you for that. Slovenian is a particularly unrepresented. No, it's not completely unrepresented, but it's not as represented as other Slavic languages on the channel. We have only a couple of videos, so it's always nice to have a challenge in Slovenian. Okay, and of course Freya, thank you very much for you as well. Because you can also just send an email to me, and that's also a way to submit the challenge. So thank you very much for that. Those are the new challenges that have been added to our database of challenges last week. So yeah, depending on who is going to call. And by the way, I see there is a lot of calls. I may not be able to take all the calls, but I will try to give priority to new people, okay? Let's see. And let me have a quick look at the chat as well. Oh, the wild haggis. Will you ever do more stuff on the Celtic languages? You know what? I mean, I have videos ready to go, basically, but we do need someone to help with Breton transcriptions. So if you're a Breton speaker and you would like to help us transcribe some Breton in the videos that I'm currently working on, please contact me. And as soon as we have that done, we will be able to do more videos with Celtic languages. And also, if you are a speaker of a Celtic language, you are welcome to volunteer in the um, for future videos. There is a form. I think it's linked under this stream, but I'm not entirely sure. But if not there, if it's not there, it's on my website for sure. Let me show you. It's on my website for sure. So if you go to my website, there is a way to support the show, support the channel, this live stream, and one of the ways there is volunteer for future episodes here. So if you fill in that form and you are a speaker of a Celtic language, we might be able to put together a video. You know, this is always a challenge to make videos happen because it requires a lot of people participating and coordination and stuff like that. It's a bit time consuming and things get in the way. Life gets in the way sometimes, and it takes time to complete. But that's a story for another time, maybe, you know, to give you more details about that. But yes, that's happening. Okay, good. So let's move on to the challenges then, and the calls. So let's take the first call, which is going to be Marcio. Let's meet Marcio. We haven't talked to Marcio yet, I think, or maybe we did. Oh yes, we did. We did talk to Marcio. So Marcio, I'm going to add you to the stream just now. Hello, Marcio. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, Norbert.
Hello,
Can you listen to me?
Marcio. Yes,
Yes, I
I
can.
I can. Yes. So, Marcio, welcome to the live stream. And Marcio, you
Thank
just
you.
quickly introduce yourself. Some people might already know you because you actually took part in one of the episodes, most recent ones. So, just a quick
Yes,
introduction.
yes,
Where
a
are you
while
calling
ago.
from, and what languages do you speak?
Well, so my name is Marcio. I'm 49 years old, from Brazil, and I work with IT. And also, I speak other languages like Russian, German, French, and my hobbies would be like consistent in learning languages and auto mechanics.
Auto mechanics. Okay, good. That's an interesting combination, languages and auto mechanics. Is there anything in common there?
To translate documents regarding like maintenance, yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's good, very good point. Because actually, languages can be used for basically all topics in the world, right? And we can talk about that
Yes.
in different languages. Good. So, what would you like to do today? You can take part in a challenge that I have pre-recorded, or maybe you want to run a challenge. What's your preference?
The first one, I have my voice. I don't know what do I have to mute so I cannot listen to myself.
Mm-hmm. I'm not entirely sure what's happening there. Um, what device are you using? Are you using your computer or iPad or your phone?
Yes. Yes, it's my computer. I make a compression, and there's a like a boom microphone, something like that.
Am I on the speakers or
But
on
I
in your
can still hear
headset?
myself. Like, oh, I have headsets only,
You
no
have
speakers at
headsets
all.
only. Okay. So what could be happening? I think maybe you have audio monitor on for some reason. Could you?
It could be.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, if you're using a different microphone, maybe the microphone is having an audio monitor on.
Oh, it doesn't matter so much if I can like stop for 1 second.
Okay, if it's not going to disturb
It's
you too
fine.
much, then let's try that. So,
Okay.
Marcio, what's your preference? Would you like to take up a challenge in one of the Germanic languages or Romance
Yes,
languages?
that's why I'm here.
Yes. Okay. So, what language would you prefer?
Well, I have no knowledge. I mean, almost no knowledge in Italian. Yeah, it could
Okay,
be something like that.
you have no knowledge of Italian at all. I have some challenges in Italian. They might be a little bit too easy for you, I suppose. Um,
Because I wouldn't go to Romanian. I think it's too hard, maybe.
Too hard. Okay. And when it comes to Germanic languages, you mentioned you speak some German, right?
Yes, yes. There
Is
are
it
two variations, to be honest. I learned, I'm still learning the Hochdeutsch. And a second one, there's this German spoken where I live. I suppose nobody knows about it, but it's called Rundgrenze Hunsrückig.
interesting? Because I do have a challenge in Swabian. Swabian dialect or language, depending on how you classify that, of German. Have you heard about that?
So, yes, I know, but it's far from Rheinland-Pfalz or Rhenania.
It's so basically it's not it's not a standard German that people tend to learn, and I think it might possibly interesting to be. How good is your German? Maybe let's start with that because uh, it's an important
I
factor
would
in
say A2.
A2. Okay, so maybe that's not a good enough level for challenging yourself with Swabian. I think it might be a little bit too tricky. Um, so let's focus on Italian then. Let's focus on the Italian language. Okay, so first I'm going to play a challenge. So just listen to it fully first time, then you will listen to it again, or maybe have a look at the text, depending on what you decide. Let's go. Hopefully it's going to play. Okay, let's listen to the Italian challenge.
Cos'è? È una persona che studia le civiltà antiche e le loro tracce. Si occupa di scavi archeologici e di analisi dei reperti trovati. Utilizza tecniche di datazione e di interpretazione storica. Ha contribuito a ricostruire la storia delle antiche civiltà umane. È un'attività che richiede grande pazienza, curiosità e passione per la storia.
Did you hear it?
Yes. I would say it would be something like archaeologist or paleontologist,
So what did you
or
understand?
maybe
Maybe.
there's another one.
And
Okay,
what
let's see.
Brazilian
I'll take my
what
earbuds for
Portuguese?
now, just for a second. So I remember that I listened to, so it's somebody who is into the archaeology. He has to do carbon dating and stuff like that. So it's somebody who works like digging up stuff like from the past. It's pretty much like this. As far as I remember, it was describing a profession, and it could be a paleontologist or archaeologist or something close to those two, pretty much.
Okay. So let's let's have a look at the text now and see if there is any difference there. Oops. Let me just change this real quick. Okay, and let me play the challenge again as well, so we can follow the text and listen to it.
Cos'è? È una persona che studia le civiltà antiche e le loro tracce. Si occupa di scavi archeologici e di analisi dei reperti trovati. Utilizza tecniche di datazione e di interpretazione storica. Ha contribuito a ricostruire la storia delle antiche civiltà umane. È un'attività che richiede grande pazienza, curiosità e passione per la storia.
Okay, does that confirm your first
I
guess?
would say it's archaeologist because paleontologist.
Paleontologist. Why do you think it's a paleontologist? What gives it away? What kind?
No,
Which words? Paleontologist
sorry,
is someone
I say archaeologist.
who.
Paleontologist. Okay. The words that give it's archeologici e di analisi di reperti trovati.
Okay, so your final answer is
Archaeologist.
that is correct. That is correct. The answer to that is
È un archeologo.
archeologo. Okay, in Italian. So you I guess that fairly,
Portuguese.
yeah, fairly quickly. So maybe let's try to translate that into Portuguese. So I'm going to display English translation and Italian text side by side, and if you could translate that, just read that in Portuguese, so we can kind of compare the way it sounds in Portuguese.
Okay, can you make it a little bit bigger, the Portuguese part? Or is...
The Italian part, you mean?
Yes, sorry, the Italian part. Okay, I will take the earbuds off again. Que coisa é? É uma pessoa que estuda a civilização antiga e loro trate, isso eu não sei o que dizer. Se ocupa de escavação arqueológica e de análise de reperti trovati. Talvez de coisas que... Trovare é como se fosse pegar coisas apanhadas, pegadas. Utiliza técnicas de datação e de interpretação histórica. Contribui à reconstrução da história de antigas civilizações humanas. É uma atividade que necessita grande paciência, curiosidade e paixão pela história. É um arqueólogo.
Great. So that's how it is. It was fairly easy, I think, but it was very interesting to be able to compare that with Portuguese, because there is so many words in common. And let me just have a quick look at actually archeolog. It's a pretty common word across languages. It's almost like an international word, as we see in German, in Slovak archeolog. I think it's Slovak, and archeologo. Yes. Yeah, and it was quite easy even for Spanish speakers. That's good. So that was a challenge for you, Marcio. Tell us what's happening in Brazil right now. Is this like the end of carnival thing that everybody parties, or
Oh, yes.
It's happening right
I
now.
would say this is tonight is the last night, and everything will. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any plans?
Also, there's this thing. So it will. No, no plans. I mean, maybe I'll go drink with some friends. There's this guy. I met him from a while ago. He's from Riga, and he speaks Russian. So sometimes we get along, and we talk to each other either in English or in Russian.
Good. So you're going to practice your languages tonight, one way or the other. So, Marcio, thank you very much
Yes, yes.
for participating. Despite the technical challenges, we managed to pull it off. So thank you very much. Have
My
a
pleasure.
lovely evening, and I'm going to take some more calls right now. So thank you very much, Marcio. Let's add another person that maybe someone new that we haven't met yet. Let's see. Well, we have Nicolas calling. I think he was trying to connect before. So, Nicolas, I'm going to add you now into the stream. Hello, you are live.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Nicolas. Yes, I can hear you. Welcome to the show. Maybe a quick introduction. Where are you calling from? What languages do you speak?
Okay, my name is Nicolas. I reside in South Africa. I speak Afrikaans and English.
Do you speak any other languages? Or are you learning anything in particular right now?
Um, a few words in Russian, thanks to gaming, but it's just a few words. It's nothing to write home about, actually.
Okay, so you calling into the show. What would you like to do? Would you like to challenge yourself with a language that you haven't studied before, or do you have a challenge that you would like to present?
um, Well, I can present an Afrikaans challenge to somebody if they want, um, or if there is somebody else that is wanting to do maybe a Dutch challenge together. Either way.
Okay, okay, that's good. I actually see that we have a Dutch speaker calling in, and actually he might be interested in taking up this challenge. So let me just add him real quick. Okay, and we'll see if we will be able to improvise. So, Kuhn, I'm going to add you into the stream right now. Okay, so just get ready. Okay, so let's. Hello, Kuhn.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back to the show, Kuhn. So we've got Nicolas here who speaks Afrikaans, and he might be interested in doing an Afrikaans Dutch challenge, possibly. And you are a Dutch
Yes, I
speaker.
will.
Yeah. So, Kuhn, tell us just quickly what languages do you speak, just to remind everybody.
I speak Swedish, German, English, French, Portuguese, Spanish. Well, Swedish I'm learning, so I'm like a A1 level, I think. So it's really novice level.
Uh
Same with Latin. I can already understand a lot of Swedish. I can understand Norwegian, Danish, Italian. I don't know, like lots of languages.
Good. And your native language is Dutch, if I remember
Yes,
correctly.
Dutch and English and nigh on native for Portuguese, so near native for Portuguese.
Yeah.
So
What's your experience with Afrikaans?
I've only heard it lots of times because we actually have a family member who lived in South Africa. He was a family member of my father, but
So you.
I only ever saw him like 3 times or something. So he did talk to me when I was really small.
So you've got like a
And
limited
exposure.
exposure to
Yes.
Afrikaans. So maybe that could be a good challenge.
Yeah.
Nicolas, what kind of challenge have you prepared? Is this the word guessing challenge where you describe a word and Koen would have to guess what you're talking about?
That's correct.
Uh-huh. Okay, so just to remind everybody the rules, you're going to be speaking in your native languages. Koen, you will be asking questions about the word just to clarify it, and then we can switch back to English after you attempt at guessing the word and discuss a little bit more the relationship between those two languages. So if you could gather some good points or information from the challenge, like the expressions and words that you're going to comment on, would be great.
Okay.
Good. So I think we are ready.
And
Right.
just to be sure, I should ask questions in Dutch, right?
I think so. That's the standard format, unless Nicolas wants to be challenged a little bit more, and if Koen asks every question in different Germanic language, or that's too much.
We could do something like that. But I'll start off with Dutch, shall we say?
Start off with Dutch and let's see where it takes you guys. Okay,
All
but
right.
try to stay away from English. Okay, just try to use the other languages that you
All right.
speak.
We will do
Okay.
so.
Okay, so let's start then.
Okay, wat is dit? Hierdie toestel word in die kombuis gevind. Dit is elektries of gas. Hierdie toestel is gemaak van plastiek of van metaal. Dit word gebruik om warm drankies voor te berei. Wil jy hê ek moet dit weer lees?
Dus het is een toestel wat je in de keuken kunt vinden.
Dit is reg, ja.
Het is elektrisch of gas.
Dit is reg, ja.
En het is gemaakt van metaal of plastic en het wordt gebruikt om warme drankjes te bereiden. Dus dan denk ik aan thee of koffie of neem waarschijnlijk thee. Ik dacht eigenlijk toen je zei het is elektrisch of gas, dacht ik eerst aan een fornuis. Maar ik neem aan je maakt er drankjes in, dus dan heb je het niet over fornuis.
So dit is 'n toestel. So wat 'n toestel? Gaan jy gebruik om die byvoorbeeld die water vir jou warm te maak.
Ja, dus een waterkoker.
Ja.
Is dat het woord?
Is this correct?
Sê weer?
So I think that Koen, you made a guess, right? You made a guess.
Yes. I said it's a waterkoker, which translates roughly to kettle, or literally water boiler.
Ja.
Correct. Yes.
Correct.
Good. So Nicolas, how is it in Afrikaans then?
In Afrikaans, we would just say a kettle.
Yeah, ketel. We also have that word.
It's just spelled with a single T.
Yeah. We have the exact same word, but then you use it on top of a stove. They're never electric. So
Yes.
ketel is used on top of a stove, and you can fill it with water, and there's a whistle on top of it. and it
Yes,
will whistle at you when the water is ready to use. So
correct.
yeah.
Good. So that was quite quick, but a lot of
The,
hints. What kind of differences have you noticed there, Kuhn? Like, were there any words that threw you off, or?
Not really. There's only one word that was like, okay, I knew this already. He said kombuis,
Mm-hmm.
which is keuken with us. It's like the kitchen. But in Dutch, we also have a word kombuis. It's the kitchen, but it's strictly on a ship. So, but I already knew that this was kombuis is the Afrikaans word for kitchen. So
Mm-hmm.
it, from previous exposure, I already gathered as much as that. So there wasn't really that much that threw me off. I already understood hirdi, which is this. And toestel, yeah, we also have that word. So literally, it was really easy for me actually, to tell
Mm-hmm.
you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, okay.
Mooi gedaan.
yeah,
Mooi gedaan. And
I
then,
dank.
and we also have Bjorn/Wayne telling us about an old English word that he invented for this, which is waterweerment. I think that's how it's pronounced. We will ask him when he connects into the show. Good, good. So, what about because we have Afrikaans versus Dutch episodes on the channel, quite a number of them actually, and it was fairly easy for people to understand it. It feels like almost like Polish and Slovak. We could have like very nice flowing casual conversation in those two languages, because the languages are very close. So to increase the challenge, maybe Kun, you could describe a word that is a bit more abstract.
Yeah, I could come up with something. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, think about it. Think about it. And Nicolas, meanwhile, you can tell us something about Afrikaans. Is there any like Afrikaans expression that is particularly interesting for language geeks?
It was, well, coming back to kombuis and koken. Interesting fact was, because of the sailors that were on the ships for many months, by the time they reached Africa, when they climbed off the ships, they just never reverted back to using coke, and they just continued using kombuis. And at the same time, they also saw um, a hippopotamus, um, and but in Africa, South Africa, for example, you do find that the hippos do go right down into the sea. You find it at St. Lucia, where they come down the rivers right up to the sea. And the sailors happen to see this, and thinking it is a nail part, uh, they call a manatees. They called the um, the hippo siekwi.
Which
Oh,
is
A siekwi is actually, well, it's supposed to be nail part. In Dutch, they say nail
yeah.
part, if I'm correct.
Yes,
And
yes, you are.
Afrikaans, we talk about siekwi, and a siekwi is actually an amenities. So
Yeah, and
incorrect word.
it would literally translate to zeekoe in Dutch, would literally translate to sea cow, which is a completely different animal in Dutch, by the way. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, sea cows.
So because they just saw the little ears and this animal in the sea. And so
yeah,
small mistakes made by the original sailors when landing here in the 1600s, and it just continued to carry over over the generations, and but because we know of these differences between the languages, we are able to compensate when speaking to people, because Afrikaans also carries a lot of the old Dutch or Woorde Hollandse woorde that we carried with us. I see that Dutch is apparently starting to lose.
Unfortunately, some of them, yes.
Yeah, so we had a interesting conversation the other day about skape. God het die hemel en aarde geskape.
Mm-hmm.
And in the New Bible, it actually says gemaak, to make. And we also got gemaak, but we've also got skape, is to create from nothing.
Yeah. We also say geschapen in the Bible. So
Yes.
we use that in the same context.
Yes, but it's interesting that the new Bibles, new Dutch Bibles, are throwing it out. But I've got the
Yeah,
old
some of
Dutch
them.
Bible
Some of
from
them.
1914 or 1907.
Yeah, 7 and
It's still
16 are
valid.
very. Yeah.
So,
Good. So we've got
So,
some interesting facts about Afrikaans. What about Dutch now, Koen? Do you have a word for Nicolas? Word or expression or?
yeah, I can come up with a word. I'm not sure if it's like quite that abstract, but we'll try it out.
Let's try it out, because also remember that people are watching, and for them it's going to be entertaining to see some Dutch
Yeah. So
on the show. Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
Okay, let's go then.
Oké, dit is een feest. We zitten nu ook in een feest. We hebben het net over carnaval gehad. Dat hebben ze bij ons ook. Maar dit gaat over een ander feest. Het wordt in Nederland gevierd aan het einde van het jaar. En het heeft te maken met een persoon waarvan men denkt dat hij vanuit Spanje naar Nederland komt. Deze persoon die heeft cadeaus bij zich. En in het verleden werd gezegd dat hij kinderen die niet zo lief waren meenam terug naar Spanje. En kinderen konden tonen hoe lief ze waren door hun schoen te zetten bij de schoorsteen van hun huis. En door liedjes te zingen. En ik kan van een hele hoop liedjes de titel niet noemen, want daar zit deze persoon, wordt daar direct in vernoemd. Dus dat gaan we nog even niet doen totdat je vragen hebt gesteld. Maar aan het einde van de festiviteiten gaat de persoon ook weer terug naar Spanje. Voor nu is het dat eventjes. Je mag vragen stellen.
okay. So jy het 'n fees verduidelik wat plaasvind aan die einde van die jaar. En hy bring gewoonlik geskenke en wat in die skoene en gesit word. Hy kom by die skoorsteen af. So jy praat seker van Saint Nicolas Kersfees.
Het is interessant, want jij zei Sint-Nicolaas. En dat is correct, behalve dat jij ook het kerstfeest zei. En dat is niet correct. In veel landen wordt namelijk de kerstman... Even wachten. Wait a moment please, Norbert. I'm still explaining. In veel landen wordt namelijk de kerstman Sint Nicolas genoemd. Maar Sint-Nicolaas is ook een term die wij vroeger gebruikten voor Sinterklaas. En dat is
Ja.
bij ons een tweede feest wat voor Kerstmis plaatsvindt. Dat vindt plaats op 5 december. En dan krijgen dus kinderen, die hebben dan pakjesavond en die krijgen cadeaus van de Goedheiligman, Sint Nicolas, Sinterklaas. Maar dus in andere talen dan het Nederlands wordt Sint Nicolas vaak, is de kerstman, zeg maar. Dus daar zit een verwarring, een mogelijke verwarring. So, yes, I would say he was partially correct, Norbert, here.
Nicolas, so what was your answer?
I said Saint Nicholas, and then I also said Christmas. And now he described that they have a separation between the two festivals. There's a fest. They got Christmas, but they've also got a festival before Christmas with Saint Nicholas. We don't have that. We've lost that in South Africa. Ours is one combined festival that we have is 25 December.
Yes.
We've lost that separation, and it was interesting.
So, Koen, were you describing what were you describing exactly?
So this festival is called Sinterklaas, and he has this man has an alternate name, which is Sint Nicolas, and that's a derision from Sint Nicholas, or basically Sint Nicholas in English-speaking countries is a derision from his name. So Sinterklaas is called Saint Nicholas in other countries, but then you're actually talking about Santa Claus, which is Father Christmas.
And what day is that festival celebrated on?
This festival with Sinterklaas is celebrated on the 5th of December.
5th.
Yeah, and Sinterklaas usually enters the country at around about the second week of November. And he'll stay on in the country all the way up till his birthday, which is officially the 6th of December. But we celebrate Sinterklaas on the 5th. That's like the main festivity, which is
it like overnight, the kind of thing? Like at midnight, something happens at midnight, or
not anymore. It used to happen like overnight as well in some regions, but they don't do that anymore. Usually now it happens somewhere during the day or evening of the December the 5th. People will have what we call pakjesavond, so that's basically present night. You get a load of presents that you can unpack together with the family, and you get to sing and like have a nice evening together. That's basically the gist of it. And usually also they come. Sinterklaas comes to schools with his helpers, and we call them Pieten. We used to call them Zwarte Pieten, but that's a little controversial these days, unfortunately, because of obvious reasons, goings on in the world. So we don't usually use that term anymore that much.
So the 5th, because in Poland we also have the Saint Nicholas kind of names day. That names day, we consider it a names day, not his birthday. That happens on the 6th of December. But we do tend to celebrate it on the day, and kids, they get little presents like as teasers for what's coming for Christmas. So this was a little bit cultural specific challenge, which usually we try to avoid like cultural specific ones because that requires an extra knowledge of what's going on in the country.
I would say Nicholas was like halfway correct because he did guess the name. One of the names that is used for this man, shall we say. So I would say he was halfway correct. I would consider it correct if it wasn't for the fact that we don't
let's do that. Let's consider it's a correct one. And it's interesting comment from Katharina. Krampus is a southern German thing. and has not really something to do with Nicolas. Oh yeah, so whenever we bring up those very culturally specific things, it's very difficult to like translate, you know,
Yeah.
because it's
I can
very
understand.
culture specific. We try to avoid this kind of words for challenges, but it was interesting to kind of learn that like in South Africa it's not really celebrated. In other countries it's celebrated on the
Well,
6th, not on the 5th, and
what I found very interesting to hear from Nicolas is that they actually used to kind of celebrate something at least on the 5th as well, because he said we lost that separation between the two festivals. So I was like, well, apparently they had something in the same gist of Sinterklaas over there. So that's something that I never knew. So that's interesting to hear.
yes,
So,
okay.
maar ja, vele dank en ek het jou darm mooi verstaan of begryp. Soos julle sal sê, begryp, maar ja, nee, was baie interessant. Ek hoop ons doen dit weer.
Ja, het was zeker heel interessant, Nicolas. Dankjewel. Baie dank.
Thank
Baie
you very
dank.
much.
Julle
So
dank. Spasibo.
thank you very much, guys. So we're going to give a chance to other callers, okay? We still have some time, so we're going to give a chance to other callers to take part in the challenges. So we're going to disconnect now. Koen and Nicolas, thank you so much for today.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And just to finish off this this Santa Claus theme, Freya just gave us a mind-blowing fact about Icelandic language. In Icelandic, Santa Claus has 13 other names, and obviously we would like to know all the 13 and what they mean. So if you guys could explain that in the comments, would be great. 13 other names, different names. That's interesting. Oh, and by the way, Jola Svein means Jule Svein, technically. Okay, good. Good to know. Good to know. Lots of little facts today. Very interesting curiosities about languages. That's great. But let's have a look who else we've got here. Okay, so yeah, we've got new people calling in, so I'm going to give priority to new people, and hopefully we're gonna get to talk to everybody, but we'll see how we are on time. Julian, I'm going to add you now. Okay, so get ready. You are live, Julian. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Julian. So first, a quick introduction. Where are you calling from, and what languages do you speak?
I'm from Colombia in South America. My native language is Spanish. I speak English as well, of course. French, Italian, Catalan, a little bit of German, some knowledge in Polish and in Russian. And in the last 2 months, I've been learning Romanian.
Okay, so you're a polyglot. So that's interesting. You also have been studying Polish. Like, what is the reason for learning Polish in particular? Because I'm from Poland originally, so I'm interested.
Polish is my favorite Slavic language, and also Poland is my dream country.
Would you like to visit, or have you visited it already?
Never been abroad. Never.
Mm-hmm. So Poland is on the list of countries you would like to visit.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good, Julian. I see you've got some problems with your microphone. So maybe if you could just make sure that you have the right microphone selected. Maybe if you could switch it to your computer, not your wireless headset, because usually wireless headsets they have. Maybe now.
Now, I don't know.
Still the same. Still the same. So if you could maybe try to switch to your computer's microphone, that could help.
And now?
I think now it's a bit better. Yeah. Could you say something?
No, I don't hear.
Are you not sure? Okay, I think you know what you could do. I think you just need to reconnect. But when you're reconnecting, just try to connect.
I don't hear you.
Uh-huh.
I can't hear you.
Okay, so Julian, I disconnected you. You can try to refresh your page and just to make sure that you select a different microphone, not in your headset, but on your computer. Because you were a little bit muffled there, we couldn't really hear you. So doing a challenge would be challenging at this point. But it would be nice if we could reconnect and maybe complete the challenge. But just without further delays, let's go and add Wayne, maybe, who is waiting in the green room. Wayne, I'm going to add you now. Welcome back.
Hey.
Welcome back to the show, Wayne.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I always gotta make sure now because I will never be sure anymore.
Yes, you know, there are always some technical problems that can happen, but usually they're fixable, you know, anyway, so that's good. Wayne, how have you been? How are you celebrating the carnival?
I mean, I don't really celebrate the carnival because I mean, I'm one of those people that just thinks
You are in
let me
Rio.
let me stay home because going outside is not really a good idea, and especially going outside during this time. So yeah, I just stay home. I mean, my birthday is like in 2 days, so I will get to hang out with my friend then. So I will have some celebrations then, but not right now. No, just at home. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's understandable. So, Wayne, what have you prepared anything for today, or would you like to challenge yourself with one of the pre-recorded challenges?
I mean, I do have some challenges prepared. I mean, I do have, like I said, the Slavonic thing. So if someone is Slavic calling on the line, but I also have something in Latin. But I mean, if no one wants to really partake in any challenge like this, I'll be happy just taking on a challenge myself.
Okay, so this Slavonic, old Slavonic sounds really interesting, and I see I have a Polish caller on the line, so maybe we could like pull this off. But just before we move on, I would like you to explain yourself a little bit about the cattle. We were talking cattle. We were talking about the cattle, and you came up with an old English word for that. And I was curious if you could tell us a little bit about it and how you came to that word.
Right. So I wasn't sure if because I'll admit because I tend to think of a cattle as more of, let's say, like a modern invention in the sense of like something past the Middle Ages. So I didn't consider that, well, they would actually have a word for cattle. Actually, the word for cattle, I'm pretty sure, is an old word because Brian in the chat let me know that there's an old English word, chiltel. It's spelled Cietel, so kind of like chito, but pronounced like chiltel, and that is supposed to be like, yeah, the word for cattle. Um, so I suppose I could just use that one, but because I didn't know it, I looked at what the word was in Dutch, and I saw waterkoker, and I was like, okay, how can I kind of calc a word out of this, translate a word out of this? And I thought, well, water warmer. So that in Old English would be water wirmende, which is the water warmer. So that's what that word means.
Water warmer. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's a good one. So Brian also knows Old English. Then that's great. It's good to have feedback from people about those things. Good. So when it comes to this Old Slavonic challenge, do you have it written down?
Yeah, I have both of them written down. Yes.
Okay, so if you could just paste it into the interview chat, possibly. Did you type it in,
Yes.
or do you have a picture or something?
So
Okay, good.
Yeah, wait. Let me. Okay, so let me just erase this. Wait.
Okay, so you
Okay, wait. Yeah. It's because okay. It's because
you
I kind of
can
actually. Sorry, you can speak.
you can sort it out, and meanwhile, I'm going to add another person. So while we are talking,
Right.
you can just get the challenge going, and I'm going to add Shimon. So Shimon, you're going live. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you,
Yeah, hi.
Shimon. Welcome back to the show. How have you been? Have you been doing anything interesting with your languages, Shimon?
No, actually, no. I have a lot things to learn at my university right now, so let's call it like a little break, like participating at your show right now.
Yeah, but thanks for calling. Just to remind everybody, where are you calling from, and what languages do you speak?
So I'm calling from Germany, but I'm Polish. I speak, of course, Polish, German, English, some Spanish, some Dutch, some Ukrainian.
And how do you feel about Old Slavonic?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't feel nothing about
You're
it's
completely indifferent. You're indifferent to Old
yeah.
Slavonic. You have no idea what it's all about.
No. Do we have another Slavic person right now? So maybe
We have Wayne from Brazil who just started dabbling in Old Slavonic, which I'm going to let me just come here, copy and paste here so we can have a look at it. So I'm going to add Wayne into the conversation, and Wayne is going to run the challenge for us. Since we both are speakers of Slavic languages, I'm also a Polish speaker. We've got Szymon who speaks Polish as well, and some other Slavic languages. You also dabbled in them, Ukrainian, a bit Slovak maybe.
yeah.
So Wayne, tell us a little bit more about the challenge that you have for us. And how come
Yes.
you decided to go for it?
Yeah. So this is just a word guessing thing. Like I said, because this is an old language, so two parameters that I set for myself. Obviously, I'm not gonna, especially because this one that I'm really not familiar with. Like I got more familiar with Old English, so I feel more comfortable doing these kind of like neologisms and everything. But with this one, I don't really want to deviate from anything that I've researched, like with the texts. So I just chose very basic things, very basic sentences, and even very basic words. So this should be let's say relatively easy, like at least to pick up on some words. Yeah.
Okay, so just tell us a little bit about Old Slavonic. What Old Slavonic is all
Well,
about?
so the Old Church Slavonic is the language that gives. Well, I know it best is like because of my friend. Yeah, so it's the language that births like all the like Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian, and Montenegro, all those four, but also Bulgarian. So it's in that branch of Slavic. So like yeah, technically it doesn't have any like direct connection with, let's say, Russian and Ukrainian, even Polish, but because the Slavic languages are so much more like closely related than even other language families, they all kind of have some degree of contact. Like there's actually a lot of things that I've noticed that Russian speakers understand in Old Church Slavonic. So I guess it doesn't really matter if you don't speak a language that descends from it directly. But yes, that's the genealogy of that.
Okay, I get that. So I have prepared the text as well, but I think that we're going to start with you reading it to us. So first, we're just going to focus on the audio, on the way it's
Yeah.
pronounced. Okay, and after that, we're going to have a look at the text.
By the way, I will say that yeah, it is unfortunate that like there is no. I mean, I didn't transcribe it to the Latin alphabet, so it's in Cyrillic. But that's because the language.
No worries, I just did that. So
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, so can I begin?
you can just begin. First, we're going to focus on listening to you. So
Right.
the old Church Slavonic challenge coming up.
All right. Što estu si? Si estu času dini kuda tima estu. Siestuchasu, kuda mesiant i zvezde vdimo. Siestuchasu, kuda slunica nesto. So these are the hints. So, что est si?
Shimon, any ideas?
Not really. I have understand some words, but not like every single one. It is something about the time. You have mentioned like a month that you stay at home or something like this. It was something about a month at home or with the word home in the sentence. But I'm not sure.
I will read it again, also a bit slowly, because I realized that I did mess up a few letters here, just because this Cyrillic is also a bit different to the one that I'm used to. But you are right in that it is describing time. Yes, chasu. So,
Okay.
что estu si? Si estu chasu dini, kuda tima estu. Si estu chasu, kuda meset i dzeviezdi videmo. So, si estu chasu, kuda mesec i dveziezdi videmo. Si estu chasu, kuda slunice ne estu. Slunice ne estu.
Okay. Okay. Shimon,
Okay,
any...
so maybe it wasn't home, like house. It was like not the word dom. A month and 9 something. It's really, I don't know. Yeah, but it's like yeah. Can you?
Tivesta. Tivesta. I can tell you that
Sounds like a
it's not.
star. Stars,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Gwiazda in Polish.
Si estu chasu, kuda dvezdi vidimo. Videmos dvezdi.
Widzimy gwiazdy w tym czasie.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So is
Yes.
it like a part of a day? Because I believe you meant something about like month, and I'm not sure. It was a word similar to a Polish word miesiąc, mesec in Ukrainian. So
Mesec here is connected to dvezda. So
okay, so like a moon. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Si estu chasu, kuda mesec i dvezdi vidimo.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So in this case, yeah. I know some languages name like moon like a month because of the calendar and so my guess would be like not a night like the okay. Yeah.
Is that the word, the correct answer?
Yes, it's night.
Sorry, it's yes. That's great. Did you hear the sound?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I was in the preview mode. So that's good. I mean, actually, basically, just the first hint gave it away, basically, right?
Yeah.
Just knowing one hint. So I brought up this text on the screen just so we can maybe analyze that a little bit and maybe see more cognates. Wayne, any comments before we start digging into the cognates and trying to find cognates?
Oh, no. Yeah, I do want to get into the text, because I also want to explain what the text means, yes.
Okay, so Shimon, you go first. Just have a look at it and see.
Wait. So so because this is two things. So actually, the one that I said is after the second chto. So that chto there, that's the thing I was describing. So ignore that first chto and everything before that. I was describing like after the second chto there. So I was describing that. These are the senses.
It's like
after
third line, like in the middle.
Yeah. Exactly. The third line. Yeah,
Okay,
third line.
okay. Let me just really.
Because I did make two like challenges, but I only gave you one.
Okay, so we just spoiled the challenge. No, not really. We can still use it next time, for people.
Exactly.
So it's not a
Exactly.
big deal. So this is the first one,
Okay.
and I'm going to copy the other one. So Shimon, you can start looking for cognates there.
Yeah.
I have to say, Norbert notated it with like an apostrophe here, which is correct to do. But just note that these apostrophes, they are actually a sound
Like
like e.
E.
They're actually
Oh, yeah.
a short e, and so like it's like dini. It's not like dini. It's like dini. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
short e sounder.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, um, the only word that I cannot recognize is Tima in the first line, like the Tima yes.
Tell us which words you recognize,
Okay,
and
yeah. So
translate
basically,
them to Polish so we can hear them.
okay, yeah. So basically, this one word I don't know, like Tima, but що є si, co to jest, what is it? Si jest czasy dni, kida Tima jesti. Jest to czas pora dnia, kiedy kiedy jest Tima. Kiedy jest ciemno, maybe, when it's dark. Okay, ciemno, Tima.
Tima. Or
Si,
Tsima, maybe Tsima. How do you pronounce it, Wayne?
It's gonna be tima, yeah, which is darkness.
Tima.
Tima.
Si jest i czas, kiedy mesjaci i gwiazdy widzimy. Jest to czas, kiedy widzimy księżyc i gwiazdy. Si jest i czas, kiedy słońce nie jest. Jest to czas, kiedy nie ma słońca, kiedy słońce nie jest. Tak. I si jest i noci. Jest to noc. It's night. It is night.
Perfect.
So, yeah. So he basically and nailed everything. So yeah. So what is this? Yeah, and you can see what I mentioned is that the verb to be is still very much used here. But yeah, people did correct me about this. So that whole thing of not using the verb, that is really just more like a Russian Ukrainian kind of thing. That isn't really all Slavic thing, because Polish uses the verb to be also. But yeah, so I was just highlighting that that's also a thing in Old Church Slavonic. Okay? So what is this? So it is the time of day. So in this case, dini, here's the genitive, right? Is the time of day. Kuda, so that's where, when, or where or when. So when is dark, or literally it is darkness. There is darkness. So this is the time when you can see the moon and the stars, and you can see here that I put the verb at the end because it also kind of has that same kind of syntax where the verb usually they like to put it at the end. And then it is the time when the sun is not there, and it is night. Yes, so there you go. You got pretty much everything.
Perfect. So Shimon, what's your impression of the Old Church Slavonic?
I was expecting that I don't know. I always thought it would be like more difficult, but in this case, like this example wasn't that hard. I think I understood like everything, every single word at the end. Yeah, I heard once Old Slavonic and a random church in Croatia, and I couldn't understand nothing. So, but it was that hard. So yeah, I could understand everything with Tima, or I don't know, like yeah, I had to think about it, a little bit longer, but I see some similarities between like Polish word ciemno, and I know like in many Slavic languages there is like this. I don't know how to say it in English. Like T becomes to C, or so I knew like um, if I if a Polish word starts with C, or if this word starts with T, it can be that the Polish word will start with C. So, and then like about like the context, and I knew already we are talking about night, so I could also like guess that it's darkness, or yeah.
I was gonna touch up on that exactly, which is that's the thing also for like that's why it's interesting to use Polish here, because Polish has had like Old English has had a lot of palatalization happen to it, and so a lot of the things that you're gonna see, especially in these old Slavic languages, is that there's not going to be that much palatalization. So that's why it's going to sound even a bit weirder to Polish speakers, because they're expecting everything to maybe be ch, sh, sh, but you're not going to see that. You're going to see more sun and ch. Because this word for a moon or month, how would that be in Polish?
It's księżyc.
Oh, okay. But
So
like this word for miesiąc, if you were to think of the
yeah, yeah.
cognate.
So
Yeah,
we have a word that's miesiąc, but
miesiąc.
it just
Mhm.
yeah, it's just a month. So like
Okay.
30
Yeah, but you
days.
see,
We don't yeah, yeah.
but you see the
Yeah, and
palatalization there.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And back to the word like about darkness, there is a word like in Polish is ciemny, like dark.
Mhm.
In Ukrainian is temnej, so it's also with T. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, also with T.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. But and is this a thing that you like you have put like the verbs at the end? It's like I don't know, different meaning, or um, like
If you put the verb at the end, does it get a new
yeah,
meaning? Is what you're
yeah,
asking. Uh,
yeah,
no. From what I understand, it was just like a syntax kind of thing. I do notice that a lot of ancient languages like to do that. They like because Latin does that as well. They like to put the verb at the end. Even some modern languages, of course, do that. And also ancient Greek. Old English was one of the outliers, but that's because Germanic languages have that whole like verb to rule, you know. But they also do put the verb at the end when there's an auxiliary verb. But yeah, it doesn't really change the meaning. It's like kind of poetry kind of thing. Like you can kind of put the verb anywhere you want. You know, I'm sure in Polish also works the same way. You can kind of play with the word order in this way. But
yeah. Actually, yeah.
hmm
I
Yeah.
think it doesn't matter whether we put a verb or noun or.
hmm
But I think
Am I right, Robert?
sometimes it's used for emphasis. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
when you put a word, uh, I think about Hungarian, for example, where the verb, the verb is usually put after the most important part of the sentence, which is the focus of the sentence, which is a
yeah,
concept that is very elaborate in Hungarian. Like,
yeah,
what is the focus of the sentence, and
yeah.
depending on where you put the verb. After it's actually after what part of the sentence you put the verb, you kind of put more light on that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how it works here, because
uh,
it makes
because
sense.
because I was thinking about German, and in German you have like strict rules. Where does
Yeah.
the verb come? So sometimes it's in the second place, sometimes in first place, sometimes last place. Um, and yeah, like I believe in Polish, we just have freedom. Like we can say everything like in that order that we want, and yeah, sometimes it will sound a little bit funny or ancient, but it's not a big mistake, or not a mistake at all. And
Yeah, it tends to be the case. So there's like what tends to be the case and what is also like can be the case. Like what tends to be the case that once a language acquires a lot of complexity in this way, like cases and a bunch of conjugations, it is true that the word order, as a result, gets more free, because then you get everything marked neatly, and so you can you don't need word order to like make you understand what's where. Like in English, you kind of need that mostly. But the truth is that even in English, you can play with the word order a little bit, to also be like poetic and everything. Like, for example, when people say, "Oh boy, am I nervous?" Like when you put "am" before "I," it's like an emphasis kind of thing. Like, "Oh, am I nervous?"
The inversion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Hungarian does that, because Hungarian also there's a grammatical term for that, but I forgot. But it is right what you said, Norbert. It's like a focus type of language, where actually it's more like what comes at the beginning of the sentence, and then everything kind of follows naturally. But it's always kind of putting stuff at the
So it doesn't have to come at the beginning of the sentence in Hungarian. It could be like a long sentence, and in the middle there could be the focus, and that is followed by the verb, which is also the prefix separates from the verb to emphasize that even more. So
Right.
this is very elaborate. This is very actually interesting. In here, I think there is also some focus on that moon and the stars, because we could say something in Polish like to jest czas, kiedy księżyc i gwiazdy widzimy, a nie słońce i chmury. So we see, this is the time when we see the moon. This is the time when the moon and the stars we see, rather than clouds and the sun. So there is always this sense that something is going to follow to opposite it, like a contrast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
Yeah, so that was a great challenge. Wayne, thank you so much for preparing that. You explained last week how you actually did it. So if someone is curious about that, you can just rewatch the previous episode where Wayne explains how he got into the old Church Slavonic and how he works out those challenges. But we are Slavic speakers are very appreciative of that, because it was a very interesting challenge.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do the challenge, because I didn't notice that in a lot of these streams it was always either Romance or Germanic, and I realized that it was because a lot of people weren't offering Slavic challenges. So I was like, I want to offer one, but I kind of am rubbish at modern Slavic languages. So let me do what I always do, and let me look at the olds. Like I'm always looking at the old now.
Great, but I see that we are picking up with callers and challengers, and we get more challenges. Actually, we just got the Slovenian challenge submitted last week, so things are picking up, which is great. But this show is going to be wrapping up, actually. Not picking up. So thank you guys very much for tonight's challenges. I'm going to switch to this screen and say thank you to all of you watching and hanging out with us tonight. I think we've had a bunch of very interesting challenges this week. Next week, Lucas is going to meet you, so stay tuned for the notification when he's going to be streaming. And yes, thank you so much. Have a good evening, good carnival in Brazil, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Take care.